It is October. Spooky season is upon us. Ghosts, ghouls, witches, and warlocks, QAnon shamans, seditious conspiracy, Handmaid's Tale come to life. It's scary out there. But there's something even more insidious hiding in the shadows that should send a shiver down your spine. I bet you've never heard of it before. It's the independent state legislature theory. It sounds rather benign, but together with the Supreme Court's conservative supermajority, it's got the potential to upend our electoral system and further destroy democracy. Independent state legislature theory. It was once a fringe concept, but it's now at the center of the Moore v. Harper case, which will be heard by the Supreme Court this term. The case asks whether state legislatures should have exclusive and universal power to determine the outcome of federal elections in their states. Citing the theory, the plaintiffs, two North Carolina legislators, argue that there should be no checks or balances for state legislatures in elections, and that state legislatures have absolute power to set election rules and to determine disputed outcomes. But that's not really how the American election system works or has ever worked. Our electoral system is far from perfect, but it is actually a democratic system, so this is deadly serious. If the Supreme Court were to rule in favor of the North Carolina legislators, it would allow elected representatives to set the time, place, and manner of elections. They'd be able to redraw districts without oversight, handpick electors, and even ignore their own state's voting laws and constitutions. It is quite simply a democratic disaster. The independent state legislature theory began popping up in conservative circles during the 2020 presidential election. It became the silent centerpiece of the twice-impeached defeated president's increasingly desperate attempt to overturn the election. Let me tell you how it happened. In December of 2020, allies of the losing incumbent president argued to the Supreme Court that the theory allowed state legislatures to select electors who would cast their votes for Donald Trump, even though the certified electors were lawfully bound to cast their votes for Joe Biden or whomever had actually won the popular presidential vote in their state. At the time, the Supreme Court declined to answer the question. Now, behind the scenes, Trump and his minions were already doing the dirty work themselves. Trump allies were trying to convince Republican state legislatures to send fake slates of Trump electors to Congress. Electors who would, contrary to the law, install Donald J. Trump as president. The plan didn't work, but if the independent state legislature theory had been in place in December of 2020, Donald Trump would probably have succeeded in overturning the election. He'd be the president today. Hence, this little-known case, Moore v. Harper, remember this name, you're going to hear it a lot, may prove to be the single most crucial case for American freedom since the nation's founding. The outcome of this case could determine the value of your vote. It's American Horror Story, the erosion of democracy. And if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will.